15 months ago, I started a journey. The journey was, I want to play Resident Evil Village. That'd be cool. But you know what'd be cooler? Is if I got a fresh perspective, a new modern perspective on the entire franchise. What if I played, disregarding some of the mega outliers, every Resident Evil title on road to what would then be Resident Evil 8 Gold Edition? And I remember thinking one of the greatest perks of doing this would be at the end, I would have the knowledge and the experience of the Resident Evil franchise to do a full-blown ranking of every one of them. So fast forward 15 months and you are now watching this video, and this is all Resident Evils ranked. So what's the criteria for this? Am I ranking this on soundtracks, gameplay, gunplay, the looks of main characters? None of that, actually. I'm ranking this just based on, gun to my head, which game do I like the most? Pretty much line all the games up and pick one. What's my favorite? Okay, pick your second favorite. It has to be one of them. That's basically the criteria, nothing special here. So without further ado, let's get right into it. 14 games. Here we go. Starting with number 14. In last place, we have Resident Evil 3 Remake. Resident Evil 3 Remake is the only game on this list that is not a good game. Yes, it cut out, what, 60% of the original? It completely changed Carlos. And yeah, sure, the gunplay was good. It was basically RE2 Remake, but that's good. I like the gunplay. It really shined in that area where you got like 30 zombies on your ass as Carlos. The dodge mechanic, hot take, I know, I didn't like it. And even if you didn't know what Resident Evil 3 was, or didn't even know what Resident Evil was, you're like, whoa, Resident Evil 3? He looks crazy! You would pay full price for a 4-hour experience, okay? That's bad. The only good thing I can say about this game, and I'm not even going to pretend I'm biased here because I 100% am biased, they made Jill look super hot in this game. You know, that's just how it is. And so, you know, get some points for that, but not enough to propel it from last place.
Shoot him!
I can't! I'll hit you!
Do it! You have to! There's no other way.
What? I literally aimed at his foot. Come on, I had a better idea than the fucking game.
Number 13. Resident Evil 7. So, I actually feel bad putting 7 this low. I do. And this list was really tough to make. I cried about 7 milk jugs worth of tears because it's tough. Like, 7 is a good game in my opinion. 7 gets a bad rap for consideringly not being a RE title. But that's what almost every single Resident Evil player said about 4 when it came around. So as I see that argument, I do have to say this really does not feel like a Resident Evil title, but Resident Evil 7 I think has a really, really strong start and middle. Okay, the Baker house is great to explore, and I think you get some good puzzle exploration, RE1 style mansion exploring. And my favorite part of this game is once you exit the mansion, because after you exit the mansion, the outside there's a lot to explore out there. There's a lot of Easter egg stuff, and then you go to the swamps, and the swamps was freaking awesome. Unfortunately, after that, and you go to Lucas's place, and then you swap to Mia on the boat. That is always the part of the game that I do not like playing. Because I gotta be honest, Resident Evil 7 is a game I've played, I think, 4 times now. I played it once when it originally came out because I was extremely hyped for this game. Like, when this game was announced, I listened to what was then released. They released the save theme, and I listened to it, like, every day for, like, an hour. I'm not even kidding you. I think I was 17, 18 when this game released, something like that. And I really enjoyed it. I played it. Then I played it again in hard mode, and then I did a speed run, and I beat it in like 2.5, 3 hours or something. And then for my recent playthrough, I did it in VR. So I've done a good amount of playthroughs for 7, and I can't lie, I've enjoyed every one of them. I do enjoy this game. I will say, Resident Evil 7, there's a reason why it's second last at 13th out of 14th, but this game gets a bad rap, and, you know, I gotta be honest, 7 is a good game, and it sucks to have it this low, but its competition is kind of crazy, so... Number 12, Resident Evil Revelations 2. Resident Evil Revelations 2 was a very interesting one to replay. It was that and 6, believe it or not, was my most anticipated playthroughs, because I played this on release day, okay? And it was at a time where games were releasing in episodic parts. Thank God gamers forgot about that. But I remember really enjoying this. And I remember my friend really enjoying it as well. And he actually put it in his like top 5 of all time for games. And I was thinking, this is really good. Not only that, Revelations 2 has the best side mode of all time. Which honestly is the reason why it's higher than 7. Because the playthrough of Revelations 2 I didn't really enjoy the campaign. To me, this is just watered down Resident Evil 6. The gunplay is the exact same, except you took the melee system out, which was 50% of the combat scenarios in Resident Evil 6. You're always punching and kicking. And Revelations 2 does bring Claire back. Huge plus. Brings Barry back for the first time since 1996. Huge plus. And I actually did like Moira, and I did like Natalia. They're both voice acted really well. The problem that Resident Evil Revelations 2 runs into is just some of the levels I just was annoyed with, which is rare for me in Resident Evil. Like the entire cave area where you have to avoid the gas was weird. In preparation for this video, I rewatched over a course of a few days every single one of my Resident Evil reviews. All of them, all 14 of them. And it reminds me why I had to rank this so low, Revelations 2, is because I think this game has an identity crisis. And there's no better person to explain this than myself from my own review. Well, really, there's no identity to this game. You look at every Resident Evil game in past, and you can put a tagline to it, a theme. In Revelations 2, I think I would put the prison theme to this, but you really don't really spend that much time in the prison. This game feels like so many games put into one, between running through the mines and you're like avoiding the gas, the ending part where you just end up in a mansion again. There's so many little bits and pieces of other games that I feel in this game. A little bit of stealth, a little bit of time limited town stuff, a little bit of item crafting that you pick items up from around the world. It feels like it's just a whole bunch of things put into one. Number 11, Resident Evil 1. This might be the part of this video where everyone dislikes my video. Resident Evil 1 for GameCube is what would everyone describe as the pinnacle of Resident Evil, the absolute best version of a Resident Evil game. You ask any big Resident Evil fan or channel out there, they'll tell you Resident Evil 1 for GameCube is the best out there. For me, I think I've been spoiled, honestly, from other Resident Evil titles, because Resident Evil 1 seems pretty vanilla to me. I made a good point in my review about how the mansion feels pretty boring up until the hunters get there. Because you have zombies, correct, who then turn into the super fast freaky dudes. And I gotta be honest, it really sucks to try and come up with a reason why this game isn't like a top 5 for me. It's just so tough looking at the list and trying to figure out, well, here's Resident Evil 1. Can I put it above the next game? And I have to try and figure out a reason for that. And I have to try and figure out a reason for the next game above it, why it should be below. And I just can't. Resident Evil 1 is a game that I would replay any day of the week. At all. It is a fantastic game. I have absolutely so much fun playing through it every time. But it's just a little vanilla, and that sucks. Jill Valentine is in that game, my favorite RE character. Absolute great character. Chris Redfield, Albert Wesker, Barry Burton, Rebecca Chambers. It is a all-star cast, and it has honestly one of my favorite rooms in all Resident Evil titles. It has just... I cannot hear a clock without thinking of this room.
Killed
Truly.
by this thing. Let's report this to Wesker.
Wesker! That clock in the background is so nice. Is this man getting... He got up, walked through to the door, opened it, and closed it from the other side in 0.1 nanoseconds. Number 10. I can't believe I'm putting this game this low. Resident Evil 8. This feels so bad to put this low. I really like this game, guys. I can't put this game any higher. Resident Evil 8 to me has damn near perfect gameplay. It reminds me of Resident Evil 4 or Resident Evil Revelations 1. Now, those were perfect gameplays to me, and I had a huge blast with this game. I played through it in 3 days. Because it's only 8 hours, it's a tad short. But I beat it on normal in 8 hours, and I beat it on hardcore mode in 4 hours, and then I beat the DLC, then I did the Mercenaries. Over the course of like 5 days, okay? I was really good. I was on the hype train. And I think that the reason why it has to be lower than what I would expect it to be, personally, is because I had a discussion with my friend and we talked about it, and the same exact sentence kept coming up. A lot of potential. And the designs were really great, but the way that the characters were implemented could have been better. And that's just really the tagline I stick with this game, is everyone's House Beneviento, Moreau, Heisenberg, Lady D. The designs were really freaking great. Character, presentation, all perfect. The way that they were implemented gameplay-wise, physically playing the game, was something that was usually felt short and felt off. Whether it's your Robo Terminator Transformer fight or Moreau's Lake thing where you have to play red light, green light at the stupid little lake stuff. Or it's getting all my weapons taken away in House Beneviento. These are the reasons why I can't rank it that much higher, because I look at my list again and it's like, well, the game ahead of it is really good, just like Resident Evil 8, but I can't. So for all those reasons, good and bad, Resident Evil 8 clocks in at number 10. Night night. Night night. Night night. Night night. Number 9. Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 2 has probably one of the strongest stories in the franchise, and I would dare say the RPD is the best setting that Resident Evil has, even more so than the Spencer Mansion. And also, if I was doing this ranking based on soundtracks alone, like if it was just like Resident Evil's ranked by soundtracks, Resident Evil 2 would be number 1. Every single room has a soundtrack that adds to its personality. That makes it so every room is completely different. The Marshalling Yard, one of the best soundtracks in the series. I truly don't have a single complaint about Resident Evil 2 here. I can't think of anything. Claire is great. Leon's great. The story's good. I love the guns. It's classic Resident Evil. It has an absolutely bomb, complete great menu system sound effects setup. There we go. That might have been my last bullet. That was the last bullet. The only problem this game has is the competition it's up against, so it's gonna have to deal with number 9. Oh fuck. Holy shit. Shit. Alright, here we go. Now, at least now I know there's literally 2 liquors in there. Number 8. Resident Evil. Code Veronica. Code Veronica is the weirdest game in the series for me. It is, at times, goofy. Well, you start on an island as Claire Redfield. Huge bonus. This is Claire's best outing for me other than 2 Remake. The Bandersnatches that just reach across the room to try and slap Claire's ass is their only goal, apparently. Which is basically Steve's goal. Who, by the way, Steve was in this game, dragging this game's score down. I honestly, I know Steve's a horrible character. I don't really, hate him. I don't hate Steve. I just dislike his character. He's kind of annoying, but it's, comedic. But the only problem is it's not meant to be comedy, but it is. He died.
Father.
I think I say fuck.
Are you okay?
I'm not even bleeding, man. Oh, what, dude? What the fuck did you bleeding that bad? Oh, no. Dude, I legitimately thought that was Steve's blood, and he's on the ground passing out. I think he's just looking for underneath the bed or something. You have some absolutely amazing settings to run through here. The Ashford Mansions. The doctor area with the weird torture chamber. Antarctica, okay? I said this game was goofy. At one point, you fly, I think, on a military plane to somewhere, and you get shot down, and you land in Antarctica. That's a real thing. Also, it has one of the best stories in Resident Evil for me. The whole scenario with Alfred and Alexia Ashford, of Alfred cross-dressing to be Alexia, that really, once you know that, cutscenes like this make a huge difference.
Do not worry, brother. I will handle them both myself.
Who's there? Is
No
someone
one.
in the corridor?
Nope. No one's here. And for all the reasons I've listed, that's why it just slipped under the halfway mark at number 8, but it's still pretty high at number 8. Fine, this 2 seconds ago, the cutscene.
This must be...
What? Dude, what a crazy man. What a kick. Officially at the halfway mark, 7 out of 14 games have been called. We're at the top 7. Number 7. Resident Evil 6. Here comes the hate. Here. I cannot hide in the Resident Evil closet anymore. I am a proud Resident Evil 6 enjoyer, ready to enjoy the game. I've always teeter-tottered on my thoughts on Resident Evil 6. At one point, I had it in my top 10 games of all time. When I originally played it on release week, my friend got it. I played at his house with a giant bowl of Cheeto Puffs. I'll never forget this. We played through Leon and Helena. We beat it in like a day. Then we played through Jake and Shuri, got halfway through. And Resident Evil 6, from that point forward, was always cemented as one of my favorite co-op games of all time.
Yeah! 801! No, we're going too fast! We're going too fast! Okay, there we go. 801!
No one in it.
I'm sure if I played completely solo my entire life, I would have a huge different think of this game. But for me personally, gun to my head, this is a top 7 game for me for a Resident Evil franchise. I just can't put it any lower. Yes, this game has flaws. I think that goes without saying, and I'm not even going to mention the flaws because I don't want this video to be even longer than what it will be. But there's just so much I like in this game. Like the mercenaries and the combat system for me, this is one of my favorite combat systems with the counters and how everything works. And the mercenaries really thrives because all mercenaries is combat. And this game has great combat for me, so it really thrives. Sherry comes back, Leon's back, Chris is back, Ada's still a side character, and overall for me, I've just always enjoyed every single playthrough I've ever done of Resident Evil 6, so I can't see for me, even though I know on paper this game is not as good as almost every Resident Evil title I've listed, I just have to put this at number 7. Number 6, squeaking just out of the top 5, is Resident Evil 0. Resident Evil 0 is a game that is like Resident Evil 6 on paper, and the gameplay and presentation is not as strong as other Resident Evil titles. But for me personally, I really like this game. This game to me has 2 mechanics that I thoroughly, really enjoy that aren't in any other Resident Evil title. While most people hate this game's guts because it took the item box out, because the item box is out, you're now able to just straight up drop any item you own on the ground. And to me, I kind of like this system. I have absolutely nothing against the item box. In fact, I love the item box. I just really like how it was done in Resident Evil 0. Because the whole time I was playing 0, I wasn't thinking, oh, I wish there was an item box. It was after I finished Resident Evil 0 and I played other classic Resident Evils, I thought, why can't I drop an item on the ground? And the second huge reason why I really like this game and it's made the top 6, you can zap between 2 characters, between Billy Cohen and Rebecca Chambers. This brings an element to the Resident Evil series that I dearly miss in Resident Evil titles. When I did my playthrough for this game, this was so fun to control 2 characters at the same point. And it's even more fun because the game could have took a really modern route and just made it so you're playing as Rebecca. Okay, Billy cannot get attacked because that would be unfair. But, you know, this is Resident Evil. This isn't fair. It's a zombie apocalypse. What are you doing? This isn't fair. So you have to constantly be wondering, will a zombie walk into this room? I'm playing as Rebecca. Billy could get bit here. And oh no, the radio's going off. Beep, beep, beep. Billy's under attack. You have to swap and see what's going on.
Okay. I have a lot of excess handguns. What the fuck? Oh, what?
Also, Resident Evil 0 is one of my favorite enemies of all time, an enemy that most people hate, which is a common theme, honestly, for Resident Evil 0. A lot of people don't really like this game. Leechman.
Don't tell me I have to fight a Leechman. Don't tell me I have to fight a Leechman. Don't tell me I have to fight a Leechman!
And Molotovs go so well together. Molotovs straight up are my favorite weapon in this game, and almost all Resident Evils, to be honest. And Leechmen are just deadly as fuck. Like, if there's a Leechman here, I'm screwed. And when a player has that reaction, you know you have a great enemy design. Not to talk too much of Resident Evil 0, but I also have to mention, it has a great save theme. And also, Billy Cohen and Rebecca Chambers are great in this game. Absolutely great in this game, and are underrated in my opinion, and that's all I have to say. Resident Evil 0, I could talk a lot on, but for now, it'll stay at number 6.
This kid gonna show his face? I hate the leeches, but man, they make the game so fun.
Number 5, Resident Evil 2 Remake. Some of you may be wondering, what puts 2 Remake above 2? Well, for starters, I don't really talk about graphics that much, but god damn, I have to talk about the graphics here. It is downright unbelievably one of the best looking games I've played. Another reason why I think this game thrives over 2 is because of the modern graphics and the modern voice acting and everything. The characters really thrive here. You know, every single character, whether it's Marvin or Annette or William Birkin, Leon Kennedy, or the prime example of a character just completely thriving under a remake for me is Claire Redfield.
You're up against. I have a pretty damn good idea. Whatever you do, don't stop until it's finished. Trust me. This ends now.
Claire Redfield in RE2 Remake is probably my favorite outing of a character of all time. Claire Redfield is an absolute badass in this game, and it is just like, it is great. Just thinking about Resident Evil 2 Remake wants me to go back, download it right now, and just play a run through of Claire. It is great. The guns in this game are great. You have a huge variety of grenade launcher shots. You have Claire's revolver pistol. And yes, this game does things that are worse than the original. Most notably, the shotgun sound effects are worse than the original. Ada's playthrough is worse than the original. And it did take some stuff out in the lab. But it does so much right. The way the zombies move, the way the zombies attack, the way the lickers are built in the remake, the way that the plant monsters work, and they only die if you like burn them twice while they're on the ground. Because you can down them, but they can come back if you don't burn them. Resident Evil 2 Remake is one of my favorite Resident Evils of all time, and there's a lot of reasons why. But for now, it sits at number 5.
Oh no, the Taco Bell. My ass, dude! Why are you checking this corner so hard? Hello? No one here. Dude, he literally fucking leans over.
Number 4. Resident Evil 3. So, if you're paying close attention, you'll notice that I have Resident Evil 3 as the highest ranked classic Resident Evil title. Resident Evil 3 was the only game in the series that I never played until I did. And it does so much right. It feels like Code Veronica. It feels different than the other games. For starters, to talk about the good, because I would say let's start talking about the bad. There is no bad here. There's no bad in Resident Evil 3. The story is awesome.
Oppose them, and that lack of strength would ultimately lead to their destruction. I suppose they had to suffer the consequences of their actions.
In Resident Evil 1 and 2, and 0, and Code Veronica, it never really felt like the world was collapsing in. You know, if a zombie apocalypse broke out, what would it be like? Would it be like 1 and 2? No, because while Claire was in the RPD, Jill Valentine was in the streets of Raccoon City when everything broke out. So what's it like? And it's crazy. You've got people in shops, you know, locking up and just being super terrified to come out. There's civilians dying in the outside. There's people hiding in buildings. Zombies are everywhere.
Oh, what the fuck? She tossed a 9-bang or what was that? She fucking died.
You have a hot take, and I will say this. The dodge mechanic in 3 original, I really liked.
Dude, his stars thing is so cool.
I've said it before in this channel on my review for Resident Evil 3. I really like the mechanic because in Resident Evil 3 Remake, I wanted to get a dodge and never got the dodge. And in 3 Original, I never wanted a dodge, but I would just get a random dodge. And every time the dodge happened, it was just like so cool. Like I just dipped, like I just totally dabbed on a zombie. Like I just dunked on his head.
Oh, I dodged that.
And this just further encapsulates how awesome Jill is. Jill in 3 Original. Jill's best outing is 3 Remake. Yes, it is definitely her best outing. But Jill in the original is no short of a badass than what she was in the remake. Jill here, along with Carlos, I think Carlos's character is 10 times better here. And just the game has such great stuff. between the clock tower areas and the park. Like, the park is great. And the funniest thing about this is I haven't mentioned one of the best things is Nemesis. And the fact you get choices in cutscenes of what to do, whether to jump off a bridge or stay. That stuff is crazy that was in a Resident Evil to me, because I never knew about that.
Oh no. It's him!
But Nemesis is like the coolest guy to fight because of the dodge mechanic that can kind of come in. He's got his tentacle arm. It's just always a back and forth battle, and when you down him on the multiple times, you of course get. And Resident Evil 3, I think really deserves the title as the best classic Resident Evil title to me. Not the best RE title, but the best classic RE title for me. And number 4 on the list.
What the? That was a hit marker?
Top 3. We're at the bronze, silver, and gold medal giveaway. So let's go to start with number 3. Number 3. Resident Evil Revelations. This game, I've said since day one. I played this like a month after it got on PS3. And I've said since then that this is an underrated game. This game absolutely freaking slaps every category I can think of. For starters, Jill Valentine is like the playable character. Super cool. She works really well. Her design is really good. This is one of the most played Resident Evil for me. I think I've played Revelations 5 or 6 times at this point. And the story really sticks with me. The story is one of the best stories I've seen in Resident Evil. It has twists and turns that I didn't even like. Every time I play through it, I'm like, this is such a great scene. Like, this is a great scene. Like, I've seen the same twist. Like, I know the twists, and I've seen it like 6 times at this point, but I'm always so excited to see those cutscenes again. The cast of characters is quite really strong here. I've already mentioned Jill Valentine. Chris Redfield comes in here with the voice actor from RE5, so that's a huge plus. You have Parker, who is quite a good ad in my opinion, and Chris's partner as well, Jessica, who I will say once again, her design is 10 out of 10.
From here. Jessica, we have a promise to keep. Let's go.
Great. A cruise, just the two of us. Only the whole thing is sinking.
But looks aside, Jessica plays a really good role in this game, honestly. You even have even more side characters I really enjoyed. Clive O'Brien, Raymond, and okay, Quint and Keith arguably are the worst characters since Steve. I will admit that. But the worst part about it is that Steve was so bad and cringy that it was funny. Quint and Keith are trying to be funny, and it's so bad that it is funny. Revelations 1, I want to talk a little bit more about because this is the top 3 category and I need to explain why it's top 3. This game has some of the most memorable enemies to me. Whether it's Rachel's extremely creepy laugh on the ship, or the ship's captain just yelling Mayday, Mayday from rooms across. This game just always sticks in my mind. This game just has an atmosphere about it that is perfect. This is what I've always said since day one, the perfect Resident Evil to me. The Queen Zenobia as an area to explore is probably a top 2. There is so much to do and explore around here and just stuff to find that it's just really great. The weapon upgrade system is pretty okay. I'm not going to say it's super great or anything. I'm not going to say it's shit because I kind of did like it. And the soundtracks for this game, because this game is water-based, pretty much it's a lot to do on the sea. The soundtracks have a bit of water theme to them, and I really appreciate that because the soundtracks are great, and when you hear them you'll recognize, oh yeah, this sounds a little bit like a water-based theme. But overall, Resident Evil Revelations 1 is a top 3 favorite game for me for the Resident Evil series, and yeah, number 3.
Fucking Lisa's back?
It's Rachel. She's still alive.
I called her fucking Lisa. Hey man, quick scope. Okay, that was a lot of fucking ammo. I'm pretty sure I get good parts out of this, or at least something. Yeah, thank God.
Number 2. Resident Evil 5. Hate it or love it, Resident Evil 5 is a good game. Did it take the Resident Evil franchise further away from its original playstyle? Yes. But it's still such a good game. Disclaimer, I never play this game solo. I've always played with a friend, so that probably influences my, ranking at number 2 here a lot. But I will say Resident Evil 5 is the absolute pinnacle of a co-op game for me. If I could take all the co-op games I've ever played for co-op campaign and say I can only have one, I'll pick Resident Evil 5, no hesitation. Other than the game that's number 1 on this list, I've played this game probably 25 times? 20, 30? Maybe 30, honestly. 35? I platinumed the game on PlayStation 4. I've put so many hours in just with my friend. I couldn't even, I have so many replays of Resident Evil 5.
Look at this guy. He's a pansy! No! Take to the back, fucking! Ah, shit! That is. Can you repeat this guy, please? Fuck, shut up! No! Okay.
That was a fucking dinger in the foot.
That was so funny. Here, hurry up, get up here. Get up here before he activates again. He activated again. Chase, RPG, please.
No.
Oh, I'm actually stuck. I have to fucking key the door. Oh my god. Where's my pistol? My pistol's missing! No, no! Chase, I told you RPG! RPG! Boom, we finished it. Yep. Skip, 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 skip.
Ready, partner?
How'd we get on this helicopter?
Yeah, no, Wesky's confused. He's like, what the fuck? Skip. Done. Finish the game. Speedrun. Skip, 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 skip. Skip! He's trying to scream. 6 minutes! No way!
It works so perfect.
Yeah, just go into an unknown room. Instead of scanning the room, you just run it. Oh my god, she's sexually active. Wham! Kick her ass, Chase! Kick it, kick it, kick it, kick, kick, kick!
Oh, wait, I'm here,
yes!
I'm
I can finally!
She's using rapid fire. He turned around for no reason. He turn, please. Jill's gonna kill me if you don't. He's fucking confused. Jill's gonna kill me because he's confused! It's so dumb.
Fucking get ready. Yo, Wesker!
7 minutes.
He can't dodge too!
What? Yo, Jill, can you shut the fuck up?
Are you a fucking mermaid? Where's gay kill? That's what you said. What the fuck?
I didn't say that.
Sheva Alomar is a character that should be brought back. This is Chris Redfield's strongest outing too. Resident Evil 5 has one of the strongest stories in the entire Resident Evil franchise. I would dare say number 1. It is Albert Wesker's downfall. Jill Valentine returns in a small role. And this game just flourishes with different areas to explore, whether it's the beginning village area, or the swamps, or the boat. And this game, soundtrack-wise, I put it up there with Resident Evil 2. I am honest with that. I cannot hear this soundtrack without thinking of immediately Resident Evil 5 and one of the best areas in the entire franchise. Also, this game has a pretty rockin' Mercenaries mode that I will say. And overall, Resident Evil 5 is just such a solid co-op game, and a game at that, and it is number 2 for me.
So I'll blind him. Oh shit, I blinded myself. They're not affected.
Oh my, yeah, they got those sunglasses. Okay, it's time to go. I can see them on the map.
Run. Get out. Free country.
Watch my side.
I got nothing to help except for machine.
Number 1, Resident Evil 4. It's really no surprise. If this is the very first video you're watching of me doing this, then you're like, oh, Resident Evil 4, I guess I'm surprised. But really, almost everyone would have Resident Evil 4 ranked. Resident Evil 4 is the game that got me into Resident Evil in the first place. My mom rented this game from, guess what, Blockbuster. I remember absolutely shitting my pants out at the Regenerators was my biggest memory of that. But what can I say that hasn't been already said about Resident Evil 4? The game is amazing. Leon Kennedy's here. If it wasn't for Resident Evil 4, Leon Kennedy really wouldn't be as big as a character as he is. That's just the honest truth. Everything about this game is so unique. The sound effects, the menu, the merchant, areas of the game, the Ganados, the way you fight enemies, the unique weapon upgrades of how some guns have 5 times critical versus extra penetration. Literally on the back of the GameCube cover it says destined to be the greatest survival horror game of all time, and I'm pretty sure it is. It really took over-the-shoulder camera gameplay like this to the mainstream, and if you asked me to do a 5-hour podcast of Resident Evil 4 and everything about it, I could go on forever. The treasures, the enemies, I mean the enemy design in here, you have mega bosses, right? You have bosses like Salazar or Sadler and stuff like that. Then you have mini bosses like Regenerators, Chainsaw Man, the Blind Man. Then you have like the smaller regular enemies like Novistadors, Ganados, and you have variants inside that as well. You have Ganados who could pop their head out, right? You have variants inside that because some guys pop their head out in just a Las Plagas. Some guys have the giant worm. Some guys have the spider that you kill and then the spider jumps out. The variants on variants on variants here is really incredible. And the whole time you're shooting them with this great gameplay that has melee combat involved, and it's just a game that I've played maybe 80 times at this point. It's just so well done in every aspect, through gameplay, presentation, soundtracks. Visually, it still stands up even though it's being remade. Overall, it is number 1 for me, a lot of other people, and is pretty much the greatest survival horror game of all time, as said on the back of the cover. And it is no doubt in my mind when I made this list, number 1 was already made up for me 15 months ago. It was Resident Evil 4. And that's what it is today. Number 1 is Resident Evil 4.
So, you two are all hooked up now, is that it? Where's Ashley? Do you really want to know?
Nah, I'm gonna go home.
She's beyond that gate. But you'll need 3 insignias to open it. What are you gonna do, Krauser? There's one in the north, and the other in the east. And let me guess, you got the last one.
So that's it. All... Can't believe I'm saying this. That is it. All Resident Evil's ranked. It's done. That's crazy. So the next Resident Evil game that will be coming out, that we know of at least, is RE4 Remake. I already have that pre-ordered. It is coming out 1 day before my birthday. I'll be playing that the minute it releases. I'll probably play it like 3-4 times. I'll play it a bunch, honestly, and I can't wait for more. After that, I guess it's RE9. Unless, you know, Capcom really shocks us with a Code Veronica remake, or another 1 remake, or an Outbreak remake would be pretty sick, or probably RE9. I think RE9 is coming next. But for now, I'm your host, Save Planet Entertainment, and out just a video. Peace out.
Imagine if there's a BS emblem on this area.
Oh, definitely it is.
What the fuck? Wait, was that me? You're still shooting. You were still shooting. Did you see that?
What is up? I know what you're thinking. You're only here for the bonus Easter egg soundtrack I put in at the end of every video. But did you also know I have a donation page under Buy Me a Coffee? Donate whatever you want to my channel and I'll put half that back to an environmental charity. So that's that. Enjoy the music. Peace out.